Life's a gamble, I roll dice. Bet against me, I roll twice. I done beat the odds my whole life. I said I'm ready for
Talking
greatness.
shit, Dave.
All right, we're back with another episode of the Autonomous Podcast. I am your host, Damian Jackson. Just me and the AI. Let's get into it. So on today's episode, we're going to talk about XRP and cryptocurrency. So just a quick background to let y'all know I ain't some motherfucker out here talking with a podcast set up, just spewing shit. I do have a bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies, which means I took basically two fields of studies and combined them together. An associate's in accounting and an associate's in information technology. I did that mainly because I was going to invest in cryptocurrency and things like that. And we are going into a digital banking. So keep this into perspective. As we're talking about XRP, cryptocurrency, digital assets, blockchain, you don't need to necessarily know the details, the inner workings, all the specifics. You don't need to know everything about the technology. You don't need to know everything about the accounting and finance side of it. You just got to have a basic understanding. Just recognize and comprehend the fundamentals of both things and how the world works. Take that and invest. That's it. It's nothing special. So give you a little bit more background on myself. Like I said, I got the bachelor's degree, so I'm formally educated. That makes some of y'all feel better. Doesn't actually fucking matter. But if it makes y'all feel better, then there you go. I also have been investing in cryptocurrency since 2017. And I've known about Bitcoin since the fucking beginning. Why I didn't invest in it? Because I fucked up, just like so many others. No, I had a hard time trying to figure out how to even get into it. Especially when Bitcoin first came out. 2008, 2009, 2010, and whatever it was out there, how the hell were you even going to get to it? And we'll kind of discuss that a little bit later on, how as far as how it's all set up. But I started investing. My first purchase of cryptocurrency was Litecoin back in, I think, July 2017. I held on to it. I think I made like $400 purchase. A couple months later, I think around October, November of 2017, there was a bull run. Once I made like $1,000 or so in profit, I was like, oh, we're on to something. We're on to something, because essentially you're investing, as far as cryptocurrencies and digital assets go, you're investing into something that is new, a new space in the financial world. Almost like stocks. If you were around when stocks first came back out, I think in the early 1900s, somewhere around there, this is essentially what we're doing. And there's a difference between digital assets and cryptocurrencies. Assets tend to have more of a use case. Cryptocurrency is exactly that. It's just a currency being used on a blockchain in which you can, trade money in a sense or whatever. After that bull run had ended, early 2017, or late 2017, early 2018, that's when I discovered XRP. And I've been on XRP nutsats ever since. I'll say it. Now, don't try to include me in the XRP army in a sense, but yeah, I recognize that and stuff, and I get what's going on and everything. And if you think I haven't made any money, the house that I'm in, $10,000 down payment, which bought the land that I'm on, got paid with cryptocurrency, with XRP. And that was back in 2021. I think it was like May or June, around that time. There was a bull run. I had XRP. I had VeChain. I had some other stuff. I think I even had a meme coin in there. I might have had Shiba Inu, maybe a little bit of Dogecoin. I can't remember exactly. I had at least 50,000 unrealized gains, meaning I never cashed it out. I could have, but I chose not to because, I was living off some of that stuff. But also, I took out $10,000 to give me a down payment so they can build this house. So I have the credentials as far as a formal education, also have the real world experience. And yes, I have made money from it. And I usually don't talk about that stuff because, money is a personal matter. and, mind y'all fucking business. But to get this point across, to get it out there that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So when I say this stuff, of course, it's not financial advice, blah, blah, but I'm letting you know from my own fucking experience, right? That's 7 goddamn years of me making money off this stuff. I'm a disabled veteran. I got out in 2018. I got $20K when I got out, separation pay. It's a fucked up story, but yeah. So I got out, separation pay, involuntarily separated. I didn't get no medical separation. Whole nother fucking story behind that and shit. But when I got out, I took that money, I invested. I bought XRP, I bought gold. I invested in assets, things that are going to appreciate. Because when your money is just in dollars, guess what it's doing? Not fucking going anywhere. When that bitch is in your bank account, guess what it's doing? Not getting you any motherfucking interest. It's not doing shit. Your savings account ain't shit. It ain't shit. And they know this stuff, man. But they'll never tell you these things. These things I teach my kids. Making sure that, hey, you want to make your money work for you, you got to buy an asset that appreciates in value. How do you determine which is an asset that appreciates in value? You got to fucking research. You got to sit your ass down and determine and study. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the next big thing. Find a thing that you're interested in. I like accounting. I like numbers. I like stuff like that. I like technology. So I just went with things I was already interested in. So I say all that. As we get more into this conversation, recognize, can I really say conversation? You get what I'm saying. Recognize this. As you're investing, as you're trying to make money work for you, you have to realize the truth. It's not fucking real. The cash you have is just paper, especially in today's world. The US dollar is just straight fucking paper, backed by nothing other than the military-industrial complex of the United States government, those motherfuckers in D.C. That's it. And the way they send that bitch off to Ukraine and everywhere else around the world, why you think inflation is up? Because the prices are up as well, but the value of the dollar has been going down. They won't say that shit. And the second you say that, they're like, oh, it's not, the dollar is strong as ever. Whatever makes them feel better. All right, so before I even get into XRP, we'll start off with Bitcoin because it's something that everybody recognizes. So to give you the basic fundamentals, blockchain. You have a block, it's encrypted. The computer processor, the GPU, the graphics processing unit does these computations, these mathematical equations, and blah, 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 bam. It creates a block and stuff and it's encrypted. I'm not getting too technical into it, and it is kind of very broad and generic explanation of what I'm saying. But like I said, you just got to have a decent fundamental understanding or comprehension of it to know exactly what you're investing in. Essentially, it's accounting. A blockchain is just a record, a record of data and is used as an accounting thing. So everything, all the transactions, everything that's on the blockchain is encrypted, but it's also verifiable. So as we go into this digital world, this digital banking, or as digital money, finance, all that stuff, it's going to be a lot more transparent because you're able to see the transactions on the blockchain. Now, for a transaction to be made on the blockchain, for an exchange of one item to another item, or if I send money from myself to you and that's going on a blockchain and it's going to be recorded and everyone can see it, at that point, well, as far as everyone can see it, you can see the address. Now, who actually knows the address thing, whatever, that still be private unless it becomes public information. Like I have my address, you have your address, and so on. But in order to send one or make a transaction on that blockchain, you need a cryptocurrency or you need a token. I would say cryptocurrency. You need a token to initiate that change. It's based on the principles of cryptography. That's why it's cryptocurrency, cryptography. That's exactly what it comes about and stuff. So Bitcoin itself is essentially a test run. This is something that happens in the world. This is how the world actually works. As they introduce a new market, a new technology, things like that, is they don't introduce it into a regulated or laws and stuff like that. They do it in a sense, the black market. So when Bitcoin first came out, it was done on the dark web. And that's why one of the largest holders of Bitcoin is the United States government, or I think it's the State Department, Department of Justice, DOJ. I forget which one because it has switched over from when they initially got in. I can't remember. But if I'm not mistaken, the DOJ sees government loves to do this shit. Sees a bunch of Bitcoin when they took down the Silk Road. If you don't know what that is, that was basically like a place on the dark web, which is just part of the internet that most of us don't have access to. Well, most of us don't access because we're not trying to access that shit. Where you can, do illegal activities and stuff like that. And so they were using a Bitcoin for those transactions. Me personally, and there's theories out there that basically just sounds like, trying to make sure it doesn't go on too long. That basically is basically a setup from the government from the start. There's rumors, there's theories out there that Bitcoin was created by the government, by NSA. So this whole digital money, this shit goes back to the 80s. Remember, the government, the internet itself is a government project. DARPA, right? It's a government project. So you don't think that they were already kind of planning all this for the longest? China is a large holder of Bitcoin as well. You got to have a lot of processing power to even mine Bitcoin. Mining just means that you have those GPUs doing those computations of those mathematical problems. That's all that is. You do enough of those, then bam, it creates a Bitcoin or whatever, and then you'll use that Bitcoin to make a transaction or to send something else or whatever on the network. The biggest issue with Bitcoin is it's slow, it's outdated. It's old technology. Think of it as Gen 1 technology in the terms of blockchain. And far as Bitcoin goes as well, what gives it its value is the fact that people just think it's cool. People like it. It's a so-called concept behind it. The biggest issue with Bitcoin is they have never said who actually made Bitcoin, which is a huge red flag. Because why won't they say who made Bitcoin? How come we haven't figured out who made Bitcoin, but yet we're all sitting here trading shit? Once again, governments around the world, they will create a black market. They will do shit illegally. And then once they make all their money, then they'll bring in the regulations and shit. It's essentially a test run. So this is how all this has been going on for about the past, about decade or whatever. So a lot of these coins, a lot of these cryptocurrencies, a lot of these digital assets are at least a decade old. XRP being one of them as well too. So they go this far back. So they do all this stuff to kind of create the market itself, and then they come in with regulations. Where you can make money in all this is knowing what is going to be legal for you to hold and transact in and operate. Because when a lot of stuff is in the gray area, it's not illegal. You can obviously get on Bitcoin, or you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy Ethereum, buy XRP, you can buy the meme coins, you can buy all the different things. But are you a long-term investor or a short-term investor? Because if you want to make short-term money, you can hop in and out of the market. You can hop in and out of different coins and stuff, and you can just kind of stay glued to the internet, be on X, formerly Twitter, things like that, watch YouTube videos, and you can kind of figure out what's going to make money and what's not going to make money. Even that hot Tuya coin, yeah, it's a scam, but you could have got in and got out and made money real quick. Only problem is real quick being within the fucking hour. There, I'd have spent plenty of nights and days looking at my fucking phone, looking at those notifications because I have money and XRP and other assets on Uphold. It was Binance US until they stopped that shit. See, shit like that. We'll talk about exchanges for a little bit here on coming up. But Crypto.com, Robinhood, Coinbase. I done had coins and digital currencies, crypto tokens, where the fuck. And I had them on all those different things. So transacting. And a lot of stuff you do have to have some technical knowledge of. It's a lot easier now than it was 7 years ago. I spent years, I don't say I spent years. I did spend years researching stuff. I still researching everything. But it took me a while to figure out how to even buy it. And then it's one thing to purchase it, and it's another thing to just leave it on the exchange because they can just U.S. governments around the world can just come in and say, "Oh no, we're done with this exchange. We're shutting this bitch down this month," and that's it. And that has happened plenty of times. A lot of people have lost money in this market mainly because you lose your keys to the wallet, and it just means your password. That's all. Don't get so caught up in the jargon. But you'll lose access to your wallet. You lose access to the exchange will lock you out. You have to show verification. You have to show your ID. You have social security number. Taxes is a thing. I never paid taxes on it. I never paid no capital gains tax, nothing like that. But that's because I technically don't have no taxable income because my income is from the VA. But I've been taking the money I got when I got out of the Air Force. I took that money and my VA money and stuff, and I just kept buying cryptocurrency, XRP, and assets and stuff, and letting that appreciate. So when it came time for me to put down the money and do everything for the house, and they were asking me about my finances, I was like, well, they really asked me, it's like, where you get all this money from? I'm trying to say it and not like throw myself on the bus or anything like that. I didn't do nothing illegal. I made sure every step of the way what I was doing was legal and stuff. But they really asked me, like, where you get all this money from? I was like, what do you mean? It's like, how do you have this money and stuff if you only make so much a month anyway? I was like, oh, well, I bought this. I bought this XRP and I bought cryptocurrency. And it was like, well, where is that? I was like, well, it's not like I got some statements so I can show you that. So I had to show them those things, whatever. And they were still kind of perplexed by it. But we're going into the world where this is the reality of it. And remember what I said, money isn't real anyway. So governments legitimize money. The laws, countries around the world, the princes, kings, queens, whatever, they legitimize what is legal tender. All you got to do is follow what they do in a sense and then pick up on that. And then the biggest way to make money in all this is don't go after Bitcoin when it's $100,000 and you're going to get like $10 or $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, even though one Bitcoin is $100,000. No, find the shit that's under $1. I made money off of XRP when that bitch was like 18 cents, 20 cents. You buy enough of that, you buy enough of those, and then just simple math, 20 cents, you buy enough, guess what? You got 2,000, 3,000. At one point, I had like 20,000 XRP. I was in a small percentage of people in the world that own that shit. Me, some other people out there, and for the most part, banks, institutional investors, things like that. We are considered a retail, if I'm not mistaken. So I had that much. I just kept buying it. I kept buying it and buying and stuff. And all it takes is you buy it at 20 cents, it gets to 50 cents, it gets to 75 cents, it gets to $1.20. You done doubled your fucking money. It's so simple. But they'll never teach you this. And I tell my kids this all the time. It's like, knowledge is for those who seek it. The power is for those who seek it. If you sit back and wait for it to come to you, that shit will never fucking happen. That shit will never fucking happen. So to kind of switch gears here a little bit, as I've been talking about XRP, I'm going to use this to highlight the reality of the situation. You can chase Bitcoin. You can chase Ethereum. You can chase all things that have been making a lot of money and stuff. But like I said, the governments around the world, this is kind of a Wild West scenario and stuff. It's all brand new. There's no regulations. That's how they're going to make their money. That's how a lot of people are going to make money. But when the regulations come down, which are coming in 2025, they've been planning all this shit. All this is just a change from physical, medium transactions, money and stuff, to digital, or a balance of digital and physical. That's all it is. That's all it is. It takes too long, too much time. You see in your bank account, You make a transaction, that bitch is pending for like 3 fucking days. And it's like, damn, what's taking so long? It's taking too long to finalize transactions. It shouldn't take this long, especially when we're in this digital age where we can send information like that. But we're still taking forever to send fucking money. So I came across XRP because I was looking on Coinbase and Binance. And I was looking at exchange and I was like, okay, what is the cheapest shit I can find? Because Litecoin at the time when I bought it, that shit was like $40 a coin. And I was like, okay, let me see. I went with the safest thing in a sense, that had a little bit more value. And then I was like, all right, well, let me see what's in this top 5, top 10. And as far as coins listed on these exchanges and what has a value of less than $1 where I can get a lot of. 2, 3 down, bam, XRP. I was like, my first thought was X. Anytime you see something like X, it's almost like I forget what the actual verbiage is. It basically means like it's, I want to say ambiguous. It's pretty much like there is no actual attachment to it. Like there is no governing body. There is no sense of one country holds it all. You'll often hear mistakenly, and it's done intentional, that XRP is Ripple's token, and it's not. It's not. XRP was created long before the company Ripple. The X itself is something that lets you know. RP, they say that it means Ripple's payment protocol, Ripple's protocol, something like that. But I don't know necessarily anything about that to that degree. But when I seen that, I was like, oh, well, let me look at this. And then I looked at it, and then it still said Ripple, but I looked at the Ripple company, and I was like, okay, well, what are they trying to do? And then I seen cross-border payments. Now, I said I was in the Air Force, so my first base was in Guam. And I remember when I was in Guam, I was trying to send money back to my wife at the time, who's now my ex-wife. I was trying to send money back to her and going to Western Union and trying to send money and stuff was annoying as fuck. And so Ripple was talking about settlements, being able to send money from one country to another country. But their main goal, target audience was always banks. It was always banks. So I'm sitting there looking at that. I'm like, well, I know personally that's annoying as fuck to send a bunch of money. You want to send $100, you're going to have to pay like $15 to send $100 fucking dollars. So now you're paying like $150, $120 just to send that $100. And it's like, bro, I shouldn't have to spend. What the fuck? What am I paying a fee for $15 when ain't nothing happening but some ones and zeros going on the network? The system itself is outdated. So when I seen that, I was like, well, I know firsthand, personally, that's an annoying process. And this is supposed to help solve that and make it cheap. So I did more research. Shout out to Digital Asset Investor because I learned a lot from his videos. And I know he has a finance background as well too, but he didn't necessarily know all the tech stuff or whatever. But I was listening to him and I found others and stuff on YouTube. And so I would just sit there and I was just watching, listening and stuff, and I would read, and I'm like, wait a minute. Then it started hitting me. I'm like, wait, ain't about no cryptocurrency. This just ain't about no Bitcoin. They're changing the financial system. When they say the opportunity of a lifetime, when they're talking about generational wealth transfer, this is it. Because they're transferring the financial system, the banking system, the way they move and operate money. Like I said, they tested it out on the black market and on the retail and the regular people first. If you have invested in XRP, if you have bought any XRP, all you've been doing is testing out the fucking network. A transaction on the XRP network, which is XRP Ledger, because remember, it's digital accounting. Blockchain's digital accounting ledger. So when you make a transaction, you send anything on the XRP ledger, you have to use the XRP token in order for that transaction to be completed. Make sure it's verified and it's encrypted. So in order to do that, you got to use the XRP token. And just right there, I'm like, whoa. If people use this XRP ledger, they got to use the token. Any transactions made on it, I'm like, okay. And I was like, but what are they trying to do? When I saw that they were trying to do it for banks, large banks and institutions, I was like, well, they have to move a lot of money and the token itself can't just be worth 10 cents or 18 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents. And then you listen to Brad Garlinghouse, you listen to David Schwartz, and there's others that have been a part of the Ripple and in creating XRP. When you listen to them talk, they all said the same thing. We can't have XRP, or XRP was not created to be valued at $1. It's created to be valued at $10,000 or more in order to move large amounts of money. The problem a lot of investors come across in crypto is patience, discipline. I'm talking to you about investing in something that's been underneath $1 for fucking 7 years. For 7 years, but it's not because I'm loyal. This ain't no fanatical shit going on with me. That's why I'm like XRP Army. Nah, I'm not no fanatic. I'm just paying attention. That's it. And then I start connecting the dots. Because when I see that XRP, Ripple, then that they're attached to Standard Charter, they're attached to Western Union, they're attached to MoneyGram. I'm hearing rumors of them being attached to Visa, MasterCard, Amazon. All of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute. What the fuck is going on here? All these partnerships that's on their website and all these unnamed partnerships, that things that are just thrown out there. Plenty of times, too, that if I'm not mistaken, Brad Garlinghouse has said himself, it's like, we're after all the money. So I'm like, wait a minute. They're laying down the framework for a new financial system. And yet, this shit is only under $1. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. I'm like, this is how it all works. People are slow. They get us all to look here. Meanwhile, over here, they're doing the shit they really want to fucking do. Because if you're trying to build something, you're trying to operate something, you got to do it behind the scenes where no one's paying attention. Because you got to be able to focus on what you're doing and stuff as well. And it's shady, right? It's shady. It's shady. So everybody been looking at Bitcoin 100,000, but meanwhile, you should been buying XRP. And if you think that XRP is not nothing, Ripple the company and Brad Garlinghouse himself being sued by the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission. Well, guess what? XRP is not a security. Never has been. They know this. Other countries know this. One department of the United States government, if I can't remember which department it was, already declared that it was a virtual currency. Other countries around the world have either said virtual currency and or asset, digital asset. So it's one thing about property rights and whether or not it will be taxed in certain parts of the world, capital gains tax, but it's also about the regulations and what's going on. So SEC hits Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse with a lawsuit back in, I think, 2021. Was it December 2021 or December 2020? I don't even fucking remember anymore. I don't remember because it feels like it's been so long, but it was such bullshit. And they do these things on purpose because they don't want no one to know exactly. They don't want no one to know exactly what's going on. Why is my camera out of focus? Maybe that's me. Yeah, I think it's just me. Man, I'm looking over too because I didn't want to be around like 20, 28 minutes, 30 minutes. All right, try to wrap this up a little bit quicker. So as they have all this going on with XRP, with blockchain and everything, as they're doing all this stuff, they're going to bring down the regulations. They've been letting it run wild. People have been making their money. Retail institutions, they've been collecting up. Like I said, they put a lawsuit on Ripple and everything because they want to suppress the XRP. They don't want you buying that stuff. Not because they don't want you money. Not because they don't want you to make money. They don't want you buying it because so they can collect it, so they can utilize it for what they need to utilize it for. XRP, the XRP ledger will be used by damn near all the banks around the world, one point or another, because the infrastructure is there, the technology is there. They have been building this shit out for over a decade. They know exactly what they're doing and stuff. And it's getting to a point where these banks are trying to exchange monies and currencies and all that stuff, the biggest issue is the exchange rate. You don't have time to wait for exchange to make a transaction in 3 to 4 days. And the exchange rate of the U.S. dollar and the Japanese yen or the Chinese yuan or the Russian ruble or whatever, and all the different exchanges and everything. You're trying to move money all around the world and stuff. You got to wait on exchange rate. You got to wait for the transaction to be completed. Meanwhile, XRP, Ledger, XRP, 4 seconds, if not less. You don't have to worry about the volatility of certain assets in blockchain or in crypto or putting certain assets on the blockchain and stuff like that. You don't have to worry about the volatility when you're going to do the transaction in the 3 to 4 seconds. I don't want to get too much into it because you got to do your own research. I can sit here and say all this stuff, and sometimes, or maybe a little bit of it seems like it's kind of here or there and it's not connected. It's all connected. It's all connected. It's just seems like it's not connected because you're missing parts of the information. And this is not stuff they're going to tell you on that 60-minute interview. They sat on 60 Minutes just straight up fucking lied. They just straight up fucking lied. XRP, the Judge Torres already said that XRP is not a security back in like 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I think December of 2023. So the lawsuit is still going on against the company Ripple. It's all just to distract us. You can make money on XRP. You can make money on a meme coin, Shiba Inu, Pepe, Hatuya coin, whatever, Dogecoin. You can make money in all different areas and stuff in this market. But eventually, what you see in this market, actually not eventually, next year, the regulations come across the European Union. I know Russia is doing something with their regulations, China, South Korea, Japan, all south of the BRICS countries in general going to be doing something together anyways, as far as their own network and how they're going to be handling cryptocurrency and digital assets and digital finance and banking. So all these things are changing and stuff. So 2025 is going to be a huge year. You're going to see a lot of regulation and some people are going to be losing money and stuff or whatever because the market itself is switching over from kind of this wild, wild west world. They're switching over to now regulations, laws, fines, penalties, taxes, more traditionalized in a sense of what you're used to when it comes to money and whatnot, as far as those type of offenses and penalties goes or whatever. So we're going into this. You have to realize that it's about to be use cases, utility, which coins actually do something, which tokens actually do something, which blockchain actually has a purpose, real world utility. That's what it's about to be. You're still going to have the other stuff, but a lot of this stuff has a lot of stuff is not valued correctly anyways. That's another point I want to get across before I get off. Is the fact that a lot of this is not really valued properly. It's still valued as if this is just a stock market. And it's stupid. It's extremely fucking stupid. The evaluation of an XRP is the same as the valuation of a Bitcoin, which Bitcoin is supposed to be a store of value, even though it's not a good job at being a store of value. What makes Bitcoin valuable is that there's not that many of it. A lot of this infinite money printing and shit like that, it's an abuse. That's all it is. It's an abuse. It's an abuse. So we're trying to have more finite money, right? There's only 100 billion XRP ever created, and every time an XRP transaction is taking place, or a transaction on XRP ledger is taking place, XRP is burned. So whatever coins that are placed on the XRP ledger, because the XRP ledger can accept all tokens, all cryptocurrencies, you can digitize assets and place it on the XRP ledger. And that's what makes XRP so valuable, because anything that gets placed onto that ledger, in order to do transaction on that ledger, you need the XRP token. And the XRP is burned, but it's 0.00005 something that's burned anytime you make a transaction. And it depends on the amount of the transaction or the amount of the asset or stuff like that too. It's a new world. It's a new world, plain and simple. It's a new world, plain and simple. If you want to make money in this stuff, you gotta really pay attention to what's going on. You gotta use some discernment. You gotta think for your fucking self. You really gotta analyze stuff. And you might get tripped up here and there. You might, get something wrong, whatever. That's okay. But let it be at a small dollar amount. Don't get caught up in losing hundreds and thousands of dollars. Now, I don't lost money too. But I also know that a lot of stuff has been cyclical in the sense of the market will go down, you'll lose money. Then it goes up and you gain money. You got to know when to get in and get out. You got to know when to take profits, when not to. I'm about to take profits here. Another thing you do, you don't have to take your actual money. You can take say you get your paycheck, say you have $100 left over at the end of the month, and you're going to put $100 in savings. How about you put half of it into crypto, buying assets, and then the other half into saving it? Because savings will be that money that you can access for emergencies right off the bat. But when it comes to gaining interest, you're not going to get shit on in your little shitty ass savings account. But you'll get money on the crypto, on the XRP, something like that. You also lose money too. But you got to just be disciplined and just be like, okay, because you're losing money in your bank account. The money that sits in your bank account, even though it's dollars, is fucking losing money because the value of the dollar is going down. Then it goes up and then it goes down. You just always see it as $1 being $1. Reality is not. You can tell it's not because when you go to the fucking grocery store, it's not. So you gotta get, what you know about money is bullshit. They've been lying about that from the beginning, right? They've been lying about that from the beginning. It's just concepts that they're making up and shit. Once you understand that it's all bullshit, then you see it for what it is. Now you start to be like, okay, you gotta be able to make moves and do things and not be so attached to it. It's a lot less emotions, a lot more fucking logic. A lot more fucking logic. Let go of your emotions. A lot of fucking logic. A lot of people get fanatical with a certain token and stuff. Don't do that shit either. Stick to the logic. Stick to what the fuck is going on. Like I said, you can make money in it. You can lose some money and stuff, but you can get that money back as well. You can also, I can't say you can open up a credit card or anything, and because some exchanges won't let you use a credit card, some exchanges do let you use a credit card. But rich dad, poor dad mentality, hey, don't use your real money to buy assets. Get a loan. Get a loan. Buy assets. And then pay back that loan once those assets appreciate. Or you don't pay back the loan altogether and stuff. You just kind of let it default. I don't want to go down that route. That's a whole nother conversation and stuff. And it seems like it's shady, but it's not shady. It's not illegal to not pay your bills. You have to try to pay your bills stuff. You have to try to pay off your debt. But it's not illegal. It's not illegal that you can't. And people make fun of someone for, oh, you got bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is just a legal reset. Go away after a while. Actually, you can get shit taken off your credit report just by going on there and say, hey, that's not me. I dispute this, I dispute that. And they'll come right off. I done it for over a decade. At least every few months or once or twice a year, I get on my credit report and I'm like, hey, not me. And it'll get taken away. Because once your debt, if say you don't pay off a loan or a credit card of like $1,000, $2,000, something like that. Say you made payments on it, but then you weren't able to make any more payments on stuff. Eventually, someone buys that debt. Once they buy that debt, the person that buys that debt, the debt collector will send you a bill saying, oh, you owe this money. You actually don't. They already bought the debt. Your debt's clear. Nobody told you to pay off my debt and then send me a check for it saying I owe you money. I didn't ask for that. You did that shit on your own. But I had to tread lightly how I say that stuff because it will sound like it's shady or illegal, but it's not. And it's not even like necessarily loopholes. It's just how it is and stuff. It's things that like Trump will do or other business people will do and stuff. And they'll be like, oh, he's shady, this and that. He's just trying to find a loophole. Well, yeah. Yeah. The system's already designed to fuck everyone over anyways. Taxes. It's already designed to fuck everyone over anyway. So it's in your best interest to make sure you navigate and find the gray areas. Because they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about your money. They don't give a fuck about your personal life. They don't give a fuck that something can happen to you at work and then now you can't pay your bills no more. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. So you need to make sure that you can find a way to protect yourself legally. And there's a difference between legal and illegal. Because you're either going to do it legally or you're going to do it in the gray. As long as there's no law against it and you can't be penalized for it, you're good. You're good. And you got to keep it underneath a certain amount too. Because once you start getting to the millions, then they start coming for you. Like I said, the government loves to watch shit build up illegally or whatever the case is. Because it's not illegal until one day they write a law and bam, it's illegal. Right? They can write up a law and then bam, it's illegal. Simple as that. Why? Because they know they'll take your assets, they'll seize your assets, and bam, now they got millions of dollars. The price of Bitcoin has been going up, and I don't think the government sold all of their Bitcoin that they had. So guess who's making money? One of those government departments that still has it, I think, like I said, I think it's the the DOJ, or the Treasury Department, or the State Department. I don't even remember anymore. But yeah, I can go on and on. I already done spoke way longer than I wanted to. Y'all want me to do another episode, kind of keep talking about stuff, just let me know, drop a comment, whatever the case is. But I try to just give just a basic dry form and not talk too much because I can go on this shit for hours. And I did podcast episodes in the back or in the past or whatever. I don't know if they're up. If any place, they will be up on my YouTube, Damien_Jackson22 or Damien_Jackson2 or Damien Jackson_2, something like that. Something like that. But if any case, if y'all want me to do another one, continue to talk about this stuff, I definitely will. I got you. It's not my own financial, I'm not giving the financial advice saying you need to go out there and buy XRP, but I will say is, you should probably look into it. I'm out.
Life's a gamble, I roll dice. Bet against me, I roll twice. I done beat the odds my whole life. I said I'm ready for
Talking
greatness.
shit, they